Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hardhats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from Right Now.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
We're going to do so while eating no junk. Today...
I have junk food.
Oh.
I have some leftover
So now I'm just out of the group, huh?
I have some leftover graham crackers from my ice cream. That's like one of my favorite toppings. Is like crumbled up, really small, like fine, thin.
Rude.
And so I brought some crackers in here.
So selfish.
Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan. Started watching in about 2007, and for the most part, watched it as it aired.
I've seen season 1 and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away.
Here's what happened. Okay, Kandyce, what did happen?
All right, this is Mr. Monk is on the air, Season 5, Episode 13. So here's what happened. In the opening scene, we see radio host Max Hudson on air broadcasting his morning talk show. Also, we see his wife, Jeanette, being discovered dead in her bedroom due to a gas leak from the fireplace. We know quickly Hudson is the culprit as he fakes his shock and dismay over his wife's death. Monk becomes involved when the victim's sister-in-law, Linda, hires him to take the case. She explains Max has a history of assault, and divorcing her sister could cost him about $30 million. Monk investigates the room and finds several inconsistencies. The fireplace has never been used, there are no matches or lighters anywhere, and the gas smell would obviously been noticed by Jeanette. As for Max, he is missing one of his loafers from the closet, and his calendar reflects no plans for his upcoming anniversary. However, Hudson was on the air at the time of Jeanette's death. So how did he do it? Well, Monk has also learned Max has been doing something strange every day at 2 p.m. and sees his missing brown loafer in the yard next door. He puts it all together. Hudson had trained his neighbor's dog to run into the basement, up the stairs, and into the room to turn on the gas and close the door behind him. With Jeanette's new sleeping aid, she would never wake up, and all Max had to do was yell the magic words, "Jiggle me timbers," from his radio show, and no one would be the wiser. Of course, he is caught in the end, and Monk gets even.
Wow.
That was Mr. Monk is on the air.
What did you like about this episode? Even though there's not a lot, but it's a good episode, but it's like, yeah.
Well, it's a great episode, again, because, as we've said before, the bad guys, the worse that they are, the sweeter that it is when Monk gets his revenge.
Exactly.
And that was one of these episodes. There were funny parts, but there wasn't a lot of super laugh out loud funny parts. And yeah, it's basically all about this radio host who's just the biggest jerk ever, right? So one comic relief we did have, though, is Kevin Dorfman, right? He has his first line about the casserole dish. And he's like, "Oh, is this dishwasher safe?" He's like, "Well, one time I had a casserole dish. It said it wasn't dishwasher safe, but I risked it. I mean, because you only go around once, you know?" So I like that part.
Kevin's a blades down kind of guy.
Because he doesn't want to cut himself. Yeah, I actually was thinking about that the other day because I was loading the dishwasher and I was like, are you supposed to do it up or down? Because obviously you don't want to stab yourself. But also when you put the blades down, it's like the stuff gets washed better when I feel like the blades are up because the blade gets washed. But I don't actually know the actual etiquette that you're supposed to do. Another Kevin Dorfman moment would be when he recounts every week that he knows Monk and is trying to figure out whether Monk is funny or not. Mm-hmm. Or if he's ever said anything funny.
Week 1. No.
Week 2. No.
That was enough.
And then, as cruddy as Max Hudson is, Randy thinks he's great.
So does Kevin.
Well, degrading. He's just waiting for them to grow up, but they never do.
Go Natalie. Usually Natalie's not like into like crimes. I mean, like, unless there's money involved, like the big reward. But
right.
Natalie's not usually into crimes this much. She's like side by side with Monk, and she's like, he has to be the guy. and she's figuring out clues alongside Monk, and it was.
Yeah, I liked Natalie too. I will say, however, though, she has been, like, whenever there was the astronaut, she liked the astronaut, and so she was like, oh, he couldn't have done it, and then he says something evil, and then she's like, oh my gosh, he did do it, he practically admitted it. So she starts off just not liking Max Hudson, so she's like, oh, he's totally the guy. Well, at least I hope he is. So she kind of, I feel like she pulled that, like, that's kind of like a Monk line, where he's like, oh, I wish it was Harold Crenshaw, like that. But we have a Randy scheme, and this Randy scheme actually works. Okay.
Oh.
So we go to the book signing, and if it comes up, we measure Little Willie's head. And then they do it. So and then Stottlemyre even helps. And Natalie. And then Natalie pulls out the tape measure, and he's like, I don't know what the heck this is, but it's not police work.
And Natalie says, and we're all going down.
It's so funny. But I just love that because Randy is behind Little Willie, and trying to measure his head, like, with his hands without touching his hair. And then Stottlemyre is actually in on it, because you don't really know if he is until the guy's about to turn around, and Stottlemyre's like, and then Randy's like, okay, I got it. And he's like, thank you. And he bends down. And then he goes back, and now he's like, you're moving your hands. You're moving your hands. That's always the case. They're always like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. It's so funny.
Natalie is a good one-liner besides, and we're all going to hell, where Randy's like, there's this guy, and he burps so loud. And they call him the Burpinator. And Natalie goes, oh, is the Burpinator here? Randy, do you think you could talk to him and
introduce us?
I think I might like him.
And he's like, yeah, sure. Let's go. And she's like, I'm joking. Please tell me that you knew that I was joking. That was so funny. We have Kevin, again, with the assist. He brings the magic joke box. And, and they're looking through it. And Monk takes the red card, just in case. But he makes sure he's going to change that one to BM. And so we have Kevin with the assist with the joke box. And the smog assist when Monk is on air, and Kevin calls into the station, and he's like, oh, I'm a fan, first-time caller. It's like, I just had a question about all this smog. When are they going to do something about this smog?
All this smog.
And then Adrian's like, yeah, one time I shot an arrow in the smog, and it stuck in the air. It's so bad. I'm like, yeah, that's not funny. It's like, yes, it is.
And then Monk's home movies are so cute.
Oh, Mr. Monk, that's the saddest movie I've ever seen.
Also, I put Monk's jokes, because I did like them, with a little sad face.
Of course, we have our hard A Monk moment.
For real.
Where the very first time he meets him, because Max is like, oh, you can ask me anything you want, Mr. Monk. I don't hide anything from my fans. And he's like, okay, I think you killed your wife. And he's like, oh, wow, oh, whatever. And he's like, ask me 4 questions. Any 4 questions that you want. And he's like, okay. And then he starts asking him, and then Max gets, like, scared and, like, deflects. And then they're like, wipe. And then they, basically run him out of the studio.
Uh-huh.
So I like that. Monk obviously accuses him as awesome, but the fact that Max is so scared that you just know, you're like, oh, like, as much as it, like, oh man, he zinged him, but he did it because he was scared. So I like that.
Go Monk. He gets his way in the end.
Yeah. Well, whenever he's going on about Trudy.
Oh, Candace, that's for dislikes.
Oh, no, when he's going on about Trudy and Monk just leaps over the desk and takes him out. It was, I will be 100% honest, I did not remember that part at all. Like, Monk is always, like, keeping his composure when people say stuff, but this guy, like, I mean, he obviously went too far, but, like, in general, but apparently Monk thought he also went way too far, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, Mr. Monk's just gonna, like, get in, storm out, and be like, let's get this guy. I did not remember him jumping over that desk. That was pretty crazy.
It was rude, though. It was really mean.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in our
Yeah, we'll
dislikes.
talk about
But
it in
the fact that
dislikes.
Monk, like, got him, I honestly would have liked to have seen him punch him in the face. But there's just something about, like, a Stottlemyre punch to the face would have been, like, awesome.
And a Monk just...
Yeah, but
Oh,
still,
like-
he was Super Monk.
Like Super Monk from...
Yeah.
Dang.
Was totally Super Monk.
Call back.
I liked how the other hosts were respectful whenever he
They're
was...
like, dude, that's not funny.
Yeah.
Don't
Well, they were like, oh, I'm sorry, may she rest in peace. And then, you know, what he says or whatever. But they're like, oh, may she rest in peace. And, you know, we're really sorry about that. And then, like you said, they're defending him like, whoa, dude, calm down. And then he's like, no. But keeps going. But I really liked that the hosts, as, you know, dumb and silly and ignorant as their jokes are,
Yeah.
that they just took a moment to be like, oh, okay, well, for real, though.
Yeah.
And it shows, like, they're human. And this guy is just a psycho.
Yeah.
Like, psychopath.
For real. This is my last thing. Jangle my tenders.
Okay, I have Stottlemyre calms him down after all of that, after the attack. Stottlemyre does a great job, and he's like, look, let's everyone just take a deep breath. 25 to life is the best revenge that we can get.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That was a great moment. I
was
love that
good.
moment. There was so much tension, and Stottlemyre answered that
They're all
like
just
perfectly.
mad.
He did that perfectly.
Every episode, they're all coming more and more together.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think so. And he was proud of Monk, too. He's like, hey, you got a couple of good ones in on him. I was like, oh, that's so
yeah.
sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Jangle my tenders. That says it all.
Jangle my tenders.
That says it all.
So what did you dislike about this episode?
Well, of course, it's easy. Max Hudson is the absolute worst.
Okay, yeah.
They start off with the Natalie catcalls, him and his goons.
yeah.
Just like, ooh, she drives me too. Ooh,
I know.
and you're just like, this is like a train wreck and it will not stop. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I personally, again, the very first time I watched this, I remember how just, I was about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't like crude radio like that. Like, I'm not going to sit here on a podcast and say, like, I don't like Howard Stern. But that just,
Wait,
that
who's Howard
type,
Stern?
that type of radio, it's like, it's that kind of radio. Like how
Okay.
that guy was talking, that's similar to like the style where they like just make dirty jokes or do stuff like that. So
Yeah.
again, I honestly, I mean, I'm not sorry if you like Howard Stern, but it's not my taste. And again, the first time I watched this episode, I was in high school. So I was like, whoa, muy inappropriate, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just get an icky feeling when I hear that kind of stuff anyway. Like when Natalie said like, yeah, whenever I'm somewhere, I have to like leave. Like, I wouldn't do that, but I just get that icky feeling when I hear that stuff. And so, Max Hudson, just the absolute worst. And they even referenced Howard Stern in the show. So, you know that's kind of what they were going for. Because, I mean, Howard Stern is really, really popular. Like, he's like one of the most famous radio hosts, like, ever.
Yeah.
So.
Kevin's rude. Beginning.
Yeah, I had that, too.
Like, he's being really funny, and then it's like, this lady's sister died, and she's like, I know she was murdered, and he's like, was Max cool? And this and that, and it's like, Kevin doesn't have to be like, yeah, he's not the most likable character, but you don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't think they should have done that with his character, but also I was writing it down, and I was like, but also Monk wouldn't do something like that per se, but he might, because Kevin also has something wrong with him, obviously. There's something wrong with his social skills.
Uh-huh.
So where, like, he doesn't understand that nobody wants to hear every single time he's ever ate an egg salad sandwich, right? So there's something wrong with him socially, which is why Monk is so annoyed with him. And then everyone's so annoyed with Monk, but they never see their own problems. So, again, like, I started writing it, and I was like, but Kevin has something wrong with him, too, where he wasn't picking up on her social clues that she was upset about Max. And then till finally he was like, okay, question revoked. He still had no, like, real feeling about it.
I guess, yeah.
But, yeah, I did write that down, too. But, yeah, again, Max Hudson, those Trudy jokes were insane.
Yeah.
May she rest in pieces. And
He said something about having to pick her up in a bunch of Ziploc baggies.
yeah, and
He said at least my wife was like put in a grave or something. At least I didn't have to pick her up with little Ziploc baggies.
yeah. And then said, like, what was the last thing that she saw or something was the steering wheel or something like that. And was like, oh, I want to go, Adrian, I want to go to the grocery store. Oh, and was like, and Monk is just fuming, and you're just fuming, and
Yeah.
more like jaw dropped, like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, how far are they going to go with this? It was a little far.
It was
a little far.
Everybody in the studio's a jerk.
Yeah. Like, all of them.
Come on in here. Come on in here. And he's, like, doing stuff on accident. And it's just, like, the second thing about it is, like, people like that do exist.
I know.
Like, as much as it is just a radio persona,
Yeah.
it's also, like,
Yeah.
people act like that.
Well, and that's what they were saying, too, is, like, that his radio persona transfers into his real life
Yeah.
to where he's evil and he would kill his wife and make jokes about her being dead, and where his cohorts don't do that. Like, they are their personalities, like JJ and Little Willie. They are just them, but they can also be human. Like, oh, okay, I understand, I respect you.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
he's just radio persona.
Yeah, creepy. And Monk's jokes were way funnier than anything he ever said.
For real.
Like, that's not funny. Like, they weren't like, oh my gosh,
It was just the
hilarious.
delivery.
They were total dad jokes.
Yeah.
And dad jokes are punny. They're good. They're just, oh, my dad would tell that joke. That's what makes him a dad joke. Someone was basically just telling a bunch of dad jokes, which are funnier than making fun of people and ridiculing them. So, yeah.
Frick Randy. When Sotomayor says, jangle me timbers, Randy's like, it's jiggle me timbers. And then he's also like, I'm sorry if you're not the guy. He's like, but you also are the guy. Unless you aren't, then I'm really sorry. But you are. You are. But seriously, I'm actually really sorry. And I was like, really, Randy?
I actually thought that was kind of funny. But my last thing is, Randy always loves the crappiest people. He loved the Playboy, and he wanted to go to the mansion. He loved the TV star and thought, which they all kind of did, but he loved the TV star. There was somebody else he loved, and they all liked the astronaut too. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. I know there's somebody
The rock
like
guy?
Randy.
The rock
Oh,
concert?
yes. Thank you. Exactly. Randy always loves the crappiest people. He's not a good judge of character, it seems.
That's just his character, though.
Yeah, which
Like,
he did.
He just likes... Because whenever you get the people who are like, you could never prove that it's us, Randy always likes them.
Yeah.
Like, I think they write that on purpose. Like, it's always...
Yeah, that's true. Because I was going to say, which this person didn't do that, but he was very suspicious of the guy that married his mom. But that guy wasn't, like, famous or anything, so... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exempt. All right, I'm done.
He's the guy.
Do you have anyone?
No!
Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is the more simple one. It's Little Willie.
Hey.
He's played by Danny Woodburn. And he's been on a bunch of stuff. I recognized him.
Yeah.
Not sure what I recognized him from, but I wrote down the things that I've seen, which is Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, One Tree Hill, 8 Simple Rules, iCarly, Melissa and Joey, and Jane the Virgin. And there were a few other ones, but I stopped.
I think I remember him from iCarly. He's really famous, right?
Yeah.
He's a
I've
famous
seen him
dude.
a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The other person is Max Hudson. Okay?
Yeah.
He's played by Steven Weber. And, okay, so I'm not going to lie. This is kind of he's the guy for Gary Cole, who plays the Playboy.
Okay.
Okay, because I thought that they were I thought they were the same person, but basically I thought that this guy was Gary Cole because, or I was telling Toby that I was like, oh, he's the guy from Office Space. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about it and I said, oh, wait, the Playboy guy is the one from Office Space.
Yeah.
Wait, then who's this guy? And so then I looked it up and I realized I did recognize him, but I recognized Gary Cole a lot more, but I never really did it. He's the guy for that, for Mr. Monk Meets the Playboy. So I was like, oh, I'll just go ahead and talk about how the two of them look very similar, like very similar. So this is Max Hudson, right? The Playboy's name is Dexter Larson.
Same
So you
name.
have Dexter and Max and Hudson and Larson. So they obviously were like going for that type of name, right? And then they casted someone that looked exactly the same as each other.
And Randy both likes them, so.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty weird. But okay, whatever.
A little extreme.
Yeah. So, first, Gary Cole. Like I said, he's on the Mr. Monk Meets the Playboy. He's famous from Office Space. And then, I was like, wait a second. Maybe Steven Weber is the guy from Frasier who plays Roz and Frasier's friend who they're fighting over. And then I looked it up. Nope, that was Gary Cole. So I recognize Gary Cole from Frasier also. So now, Steven Weber is... People probably going to know this and be like, really? You thought they were the same person? But he plays Jack Spencer on Psych.
Okay.
So
I don't remember who that is.
That must be his brother? Because his name is Sean Spencer, right? Sorry, Monk people. I'm probably breaking your heart, but I don't watch Psych. I've seen some of it, but I don't watch it.
It's good. We like it.
But
it's just not... It's not Monk good, if you know what I'm saying.
So I'm assuming that that's his brother, right? Because I know who his dad is. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming Jack Spencer is his brother. And then he's Sam Truman on Will and Grace, which is Will Truman's brother. So I thought that was interesting.
Kandyce, you watch a lot of TV. That's crazy. You're like, okay, I've seen all of Will and Grace. I've seen all of Friends. I've seen all of Frasier. I've seen all of Monk.
That's just 4 shows. But anyway.
Toby's dog is named Frasier.
My dog's name is Frasier.
Toby took your dog.
Whoa.
He kidnapped him.
I didn't know that. Newsflash.
You didn't know that?
No.
He's been gone for like 2 weeks.
I probably should check on that.
Open your eyes.
Jingle me timber. Is it jingle or jiggle?
It's jiggle.
Jiggle me timber.
But Sotomayor says, jangle me tenders. He said, jangle me tenders.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing that Steven Weber is on is, wait for it, he plays Brian on Wings.
Never watched Wings, but...
You know what Wings is?
I do. With the pilots.
With Tony Shalhoub.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's why his wife on that one episode, Mr. Monk, in the airplane?
Yeah.
That's why she's the... Or no, there's a...
Tim Daly.
Yeah,
there's... Is the actor that's on the plane talking to Sharona.
And then there's a reference. And he's like, aren't you from Wings or something?
She says, oh, he's from Wings. And then Monk says, oh, I've never seen it.
That's
and
funny.
She's like, well, he's the only reason it's good or something like that. That was funny. But anyway, so Brian apparently plays, again, sorry, don't watch Wings, but he plays Brian on Wings, and he did that for like 7 years or so. And he was on the cover of it, so I know he was a main character because he was on the cover with Tony Shalhoub.
I need to watch Wings.
I know.
I can't get enough Tony from Monk.
I know, right?
I want to see how he acts and talks.
Oh, well, he has an accent. He's an Italian on that show.
Dang.
So he has an Italian
Does he have an accent in Miss Maisel?
A little one. He's supposed to be Jewish or New York old school Jewish or something like that, I think. No, he has a little bit of accent that nobody else really has, so it's kind of a mix, but yeah.
Dang.
So that was a lot of He's the Guy from these two crossover guys, but I liked it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was kind of trippy.
It was kind of trippy. Junk time. Welcome back to Tunk John, my favorite time of the year of the show where I don't have drunk today.
Messed that one up.
Well, now you don't get to eat any of your junk.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to do is just, have we ever talked about our Facebook group on our show?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have either.
But we have a bomb diggity Facebook.
Yeah, we're trying to grow it. So basically,
it's really
that's why we're plugging it here.
Well, basically on the Facebook group, you can see, this isn't scripted, which I'm trying to remember what I was supposed to say.
Were you supposed to say anything? I didn't.
No, but usually I said something for a promo for it, but I don't. With tips, no, not tips. With behind the scenes, it's gonna have behind the scenes, insider stuff, right? It's gonna have previews, sneak peeks. And then it's also, what was the last thing?
I think you said them all already.
No, because there's 3 things. It was...
Well, okay, you go ahead.
No, what were you going to say, Kandyce?
Well, I was going to say...
so important.
I was going to say the purpose of the group, and maybe that would help.
Oh, sure.
But I don't think you said this before. So.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so kind of the purpose for the group is to have a way for you guys to communicate with us a little bit better as far as, I know we kind of have Instagram, but Facebook is a little more wordy, I could say, where we can post something and on our threads you can post comments about our show or comments about the upcoming episodes that we know we're going to be doing. And you can say, you know, maybe you want to give us a he's the guy before we get to an episode.
Yeah.
And that way we can add your favorite character or something on our show, right? Before we get there.
And also, you could talk together.
Yeah, exactly.
Meet each other.
Our fans can communicate, or, you know, and you don't have to even listen to our show to participate, because I mean we just ask general questions about Monk and stuff. So, and we also have like giveaways and stuff like that. Obviously we want you to listen to our show, and we're obviously awesome, and you're obviously listening to us now. So I don't know how else you would find us if you weren't listening to this right now.
Also, Kandyce we're cooking a little advertisement for people who like Monk. So if you're on Facebook, if you like Monk, maybe, just maybe,
you might see us.
You might see us.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's basically a way for us to do like a little bit of research too for our show. If we have something that we need help with, or a segment or something like that, then we can ask you guys for help, and you can ask us for anything you need. And yeah,
So if you want to see some behind the scenes, some previews, and everything Monk, go join our Facebook group, because we worked hard at work. It is called
Monkers. And so it says Monkers, Monk TV series fans. And right now we have our little cover photo is a bunch of little bobbleheads of little monks, you know, because we love little Monk. So if you guys want to join our group, make sure you add us, and we will accept your request. And then you can be in our exclusive little Monker gang.
Also, I didn't say this. It kind of insulted me, the whole episode, because it's like, that's what me and Kandyce do. Like, I hate these guys and their stupid radio show podcast. It's dumb. Hello, and welcome to the junkmonkpodcast.
We're on the air with nice, friendly, kind words.
For real.
And not rude, crude attitude.
Rude, crude attitude.
Okay, so my first question is going to be, what is your favorite Monk joke? It can be from the show, this episode, or any other episode if you can think of Monk.
The smog was pretty good.
I think I liked the Best in Show joke, where he talks about the dog. It's like, you took your dog to the... What is it?
The dog show.
You took your dog to the dog show, and you got Best in Show instead of your dog. I like that one.
Oh, Kevin tells him the joke about the charcoal. It's like, if there was one color that could describe...
Flavor.
If there was one flavor that could describe, like, your whole thing with
my wife's cooking or something.
Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, oh, it'd be charcoal. And Monk's like, I don't get it. And Kevin's like, it's because she has bad cooking. And he's like, that is actually kind of funny.
He says, that's powerful.
So what are you doing? Kandyce is a Googling.
I was just looking up. So my last question for Junk Time was to tell us a joke.
I have a joke.
Okay.
Where do crayons go on vacation?
Where?
Colorado.
Oh, I like that. There was a joke I heard the other day. I always forget it. I always forget. Is that not the worst when someone asks you to tell a joke?
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Because I'm always like, oh, dude, that's such a good joke. And then I'm like, oh, I love that joke. How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it.
Did you know the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece.
That's a good one.
What do you call somebody with no body and no nose? Nobody knows.
I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know. Do you get it?
If you get them both on Prime, then they're going to come the same day, though.
For real.
Why don't eggs tell jokes?
I mean, why?
They'd crack each other up.
Everyone's heard that, Kandyce. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something.
Did you hear the rumor about the butter?
No.
Well, I'm not going to spread it.
Dad, can you put my shoes on? No, I don't think they'll fit me. I don't know, that's funny.
Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot.
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up all by itself? It was too tired.
What time did the man go to the dentist? Tooth hurty.
Oh, I've seen that. How does a penguin build its house? It glues it together.
Ooh, nice. What concert costs just 45 cents? 50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
Why did the math book look so sad? Because of all of its problems.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles.
That's not even funny. I made a pencil with 2 erasers. It was pointless.
I've got a great joke about construction, but I'm still working on it.
It takes guts to be an organ donor.
What's brown and sticky?
Dang it, I've heard that one too many times.
A stick.
Why can't you hear a psychiatrist using the bathroom? Because the P is silent.
Classic. I'm trying to find one more good one that I want to end on.
That might be classic, but why are elevators so classic and good? They work on so many levels.
Okay, this is my last one. It's stupid, but it made me giggle. Spring is here. I got so excited I wet my plants. Okay, I'm done.
This is my last one since it's about the astronaut, right? What's an astronaut's favorite part of a computer? The space bar.
Oh, nice.
That was probably very boring for some people to listen through. I'm sorry.
I love stupid jokes. I will say I love stupid jokes, but you have to know that they're stupid jokes. What's sad is if someone, like Monk, if someone doesn't know that they're dumb jokes, and then you're like, oh, that's not funny. But if you're like, oh my gosh, that joke is so dumb, it's funny.
Yeah.
Right? Gotta know your audience. So, all right, junk time is way, way over.
Yep. Plot holes. Okay, so I have 2 plot holes.
Oh, nice. Love it.
One of them is very obvious, though. So, do you want to go first?
No, please do. I don't want to steal anything you might say, so go for it.
Okay. Their home movie had cuts. Just straight up cuts in it.
Yeah. That was strange.
And, like, different camera angles.
I did have something about the home movies, like the one with the picnic, and they were all 4...
It's, like, moving. The camera's moving.
Well, but they were all... My point was they're all 4 sitting there. Who's videoing them?
Exactly. The camera's moving. So no one could have moved it. Unless they were like, hey...
Oh, I see what you're saying. There could have been a tripod, but the camera was moving. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I was thinking, who did it? But a tripod could have, but the camera was moving, so you're right. Yeah. I gotcha.
You?
Can you get that lightheaded from turning on the gas for like a couple seconds?
Yeah, he's like, so she turned on the gas, and he looks in the...
And it's like, and he's like, whoa.
It's also Monk.
Yeah, that's true. He did get drunk off of 1 sip of wine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I guess he could get that lightheaded off that much gas. That's true. I've been debunked twice already.
You have been debunked. Straight up debunked. Yeah.
I like that one.
You liked it?
I did.
Dogs can't do that, right?
Oh, I think you're going to be debunked on this one.
Okay,
Dogs can do anything.
Dogs can do a lot, but also another plot hole of mine, he could have done it way easier.
Okay.
Right? He could have, like, tied a string to, like, the lever and just, like, put it through the window or something. And the dog could have just had to been trained to pull the string and it's tied on the lever and he pulls it hard enough to where it pulls the lever and takes off the string. Instead of the dog having to trust the dog to run all the way up there, not get caught by the wife, and turn on the gas.
Yeah. That's
right?
true. Okay, the only thing about that is I actually do really like that. The only thing I'm thinking is they couldn't have had a window open because the whole point was that all the doors and windows were all locked up except for an 8-inch gap one in the basement. So assuming that they would think that anybody could open a window like up top, like if you could open up a window any more than that, you know
but
what I mean?
the string could go through that, right? A window. Like you can shut a window on a string.
But it wouldn't pull.
Yeah, it would.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Not plot hole, not debunked. It's just a normal.
I mean, I do like that. They obviously went through a lot of trouble to like make sure that only that 8-inch window was the way that somebody could get in.
Maybe it could have went through the chimney thing.
Oh, like the asylum.
Yeah.
Where he drops the gun.
He has to fish it.
No.
There could have been like a fishing line that went through the chimney, and the dog just had to pull on the...
This is getting elaborate, I think.
Right? No, but that's easier than having to train the dog for like a straight month.
Yeah, to do all of that. That was a lot. That was a lot of things, yeah.
That had to have been really hard. Yeah. Because it takes... I saw this video of this guy, and he taught his dog how to play Minecraft. It's like, you like breaking like wood or whatever. He's not like good at it or whatever, but it's like, it took him like a month to do that. So, it'd just be easier to tie a little string, have it through the chimney, and just go, okay, all you have to do, pull the string, and I'll give you a treat. Pull the string, give you a treat. Yeah. Pull the string, give you a treat.
Although I will say that just like how he took the shoe and he basically sold the guy out because he took a shoe, the fact that he might have possibly have accidentally left that string there somehow, that would have been really suspicious. If there was any type of physical evidence left behind from the dog. But I see what you're saying.
Right, it could have been so much simpler. I've been talking about this for way too long.
Yeah, but it could have been simpler. Yeah. But not as fun.
Oh, it was pretty fun.
The dog did like a little maze, and it was like... Yeah. So it was cuter, but yeah. Monk says this one, so it's kind of easy. But the guy makes fun of his depressed wife on air.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, nobody's going to believe you didn't kill her when you're making fun of her. And he got over his wife's death that quick in general to be talking about this. And then he starts talking about his mistress on air.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, we had an open marriage, and I was doing something else at 2 o'clock every day. Ho, ho, ho. Again, your wife died like yesterday, and you're talking about this on air.
Yeah.
How is anybody going to believe that you didn't do that? That's just stupid.
For real.
So, that's my last one.
Lies and deceit.
How crazy was Monk this episode?
Plus crazy moments. Uh-oh. I only have 2. Oopsies. I took good notes for the rest of this. So don't... I had 2 flaws. That's where it made up. Ha.
Okay, give me your 2 then.
Mr. Monk splits the tissue with a girl. Yeah. And he also has a very sad home movie.
Yes. He doesn't like 99.9.
Yes.
He says when the girl comes to see him, he's like, oh, my assistant Natalie's not here. She's in charge of saying the right thing. That was cute. He does prefer the serving spoons in front, even though he treats Kevin like he's crazy for interrupting the conversation to ask, in the front or in the back. He's like, Kevin, it doesn't matter. And she starts talking, and he's like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Actually, I prefer the serving spoons in the front. He thinks the neighbor has a nice cat.
Oh, yeah, because opposite jokes.
Opposite jokes. He kills Mr. Limpy. He uses adult wipes, not baby wipes.
What? Why would they be baby wipes?
He's using those wipes to wipe the microphone. He played hide as a kid, not hide and seek. He thinks Kevin's jokes are powerful, and he wants to take the red card, but he changes it to BM. Those are some crazy moments for you. So, out of 10, what?
Out of 10. Little Willies. Or wipes.
That was Toby's, though, right?
Well, I came up with that, and then Toby was like, I thought of that.
Yeah, and then we were like, Toby, shut up.
I know, right?
Yeah. He was totally trying to take credit for that.
I know. He's like, you can't do that.
And you always give Toby the benefit of the doubt, and then I'm like, no, Toby's a monster. So basically. But he did, like, that. He
totally tried to.
That was a good one, though. I like wipes.
Wipes.
Okay, I'm going to go with out of 10, Jangle My Tenders.
Oh, that's good.
I like how Stottlemyre says it much better. So classic.
It was a 3 out of 10.
All right.
He isn't it wasn't like the butler.
Yeah, no. Out of 10 Jangle My Tenders, I am going to give him 2 tenders.
Really?
Yep. I agree.
Out of 10, the wipes. I gave it a 3. That's crazy.
Oh, wipes.
I gave it wipes.
Wipes. That's perfect.
That is perfect.
But yeah, I definitely agree. A low score on this one. Really, his biggest faults were, like, he unplies the tissue. Like, there's nothing really much more crazy than that. And then his jokes in general. He thinks he's funny, and his jokes are bad. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, he was perfectly in his right mind when he jumped over that table to take out Max Hudson.
That's facts.
So, yeah, I give him a 2. Rate this episode.
Okay. Kandyce. Or actually, today we're doing something a little different, and we're introducing something brand new, which is the Toby Rate This Episode. So we have me and Kandyce's Rate This Episode, of course. But Toby is now also doing it with us.
Sometimes. Sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes Toby is setting up our gear while we're watching it.
Yeah.
But lately our gear has been in one spot. So Toby has actually got to enjoy the show with us a few times.
Exactly. So now we decided on giving Toby a minor voice.
Yeah. So sometimes he'll be shutting it up like, he should be. But anyway.
Yeah. Kandyce, what would you rate this episode?
Well, I want to hear what Toby... Now you've got me...
Okay.
I didn't want to hear what Toby says first.
Toby... Get this. Toby rated this episode a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
So we rated it a 9 out of 10. What would you rate this episode?
Okay. Fantastic episode.
Great episode. I love this.
This was most definitely the higher the arrogance, the higher the pedestal, the further the fall, the sweeter the revenge. This was the absolute epitome of that. Love the summation with the dog. A standout episode for me, for sure. So, 10.975.
Really?
Yeah.
That's lower than the Butler.
Yeah. But I like the Butler better, because I just like that episode better. But this is a great episode. To me, this is one of the... was like an iconic villain. Yeah. I think this is an iconic villain for me.
Yeah.
So, but I like the Butler better, personal reasons.
For me, great villain, great crime. Crime's okay. Great villain, great...
like summation.
Great summation. Yeah. Lots of motive. I love that. Lots of payback, revenge. But... sadly, I think it's going to be a 9. See, I would have given it a 10, but then you just gotta think back to the jury.
Oh, but that's the thing, though, is that you can have 2 perfect scores, though.
I understand, but that one was just so, that one was actually perfect. The perfect mix between action, drama, everything.
That episode's really funny, too.
And this one's missing a little bit in the crime, I think. I think the dog was kind of a lazy thing, Well,
I say where it was lacking was the comedy. I didn't think it had a lot of laugh out loud moments. For me, I didn't write down.
I thought it was the crime
most
for
of this,
me.
Okay.
Monk wasn't too crazy, and that's why, it is a great episode, though. So, 9 out of 10. Power to the writers.
Yeah.
Great episode.
All right.
That's all we have for this show today, ladies and gentlemen. So if you enjoyed the show, make sure to check out our Facebook group, which is the Monkers. Make sure to listen at the end of this for our voicemail, which is 323-366-0104077.
Wow, that is a very long phone number. This is not an international number.
Don't listen to what I just said. Just listen to at the end when me and Kandyce do our little.
We were practicing it the other day, but it's been a couple days.
Yeah.
323-366-0477.
323-366-0477. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave us a voicemail so that way we can hear your beautiful voices.
And then you can be on the show too, and people don't have to hear us talk so dang much.
You can follow us literally anywhere after when the end plays, because it'll show all of us. And take a look at my vlog channel on YouTube. Today, since this is a different episode, we're gonna try to do more creative stuff for our episodes, right? So today we're doing a special outro. Toby actually came up with this idea, and I kind of like it. So, Kandyce, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Jiggle me timbers. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hardens and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.